when he was a child. He was given a uniform and called Comrade General. At 28, his father died, and he became the youngest head of state in the world.
Every morning, millions in North Korea face empty bowls and government propaganda, while one man wakes to Brazilian coffee, Kobe beef, and his own private yacht. He isn't just a leader, he's Kim Jong Un.
Access to information is one of the most dangerous things for a leader like Kim Jong Un. Because if people see what life is like outside North Korea, the illusion could be broken. And that, of course, for Kim Jong Un, is terrifying.
Wealthy, unchallenged, and utterly unreachable. Today, we pull back the curtain on his once-hidden fortunes and explosive power plays. A meal fit for a tyrant. Before dawn breaks, most North Koreans stand in silence, clutching empty bowls and hoping for a scrap of moldy rice or a few dried corn kernels. For many, a thin porridge or boiled vegetable water is all they'll have until nightfall. Sometimes nothing at all. A single meal here can cost an entire year's wages. It's a daily struggle for survival. Meanwhile, inside the walls of the Ryong complex, Kim Jong Un begins his day at a dining table as big as a boardroom. His breakfast looks more like a royal ceremony than a simple meal. First comes Parma ham flown in from Italy, paper-thin slices of salty meat piled on a fine plate. Next is Kobe beef, tender and rich, each forkful glistening with a few drops of black truffle oil worth hundreds of dollars. Fresh fruit follows, mangoes shipped from Thailand and cherries sent from Chile. They arrive on a private jet, packed in a fridge that keeps them flawless. All of it is served on European porcelain, with Brazilian coffee so rare it's roasted in tiny batches, brewed with French mineral water, and poured into cups dipped in 24-karat gold. But nothing reaches Kim's lips without being tasted first. A personal guard samples every dish, not only to make sure it's safe, but because this meal is more than food. It's a message. While the country is starving, each bite he takes is a display of power, a reminder that he stands above rules and borders. Luxury foods banned by international sanctions, he still eats them. Swiss Emmental cheese, his old favorite from student days, finds its way in through secret channels and friendly embassies. Cold water lobster, costing up to $250 per kilogram in Europe, is flown in alive and thawed with expert care. Shark fin soup, a delicacy many shun for its impact on ocean life, turns up at his parties. And beluga caviar, the world's priciest fish eggs at nearly $7,000 per kilogram, is dished out with gold spoons. Then there's snake wine, an age-old Asian brew rumored to carry strength and ancient magic. For Kim, drinking it is more than tradition. It's a show of boldness, a nod to legends that value power above all else. Each plate at his table is a challenge. International laws, trade bans, and frozen assets all become mere words once these dishes arrive. The more forbidden something is, the more he insists on putting it in front of him. His breakfast isn't about hunger, it's about proving that here, no rule can touch him. As the Ryong gates close for another day, the gap between life inside and life out grows wider. In one world, a family scrapes together enough to fill a bowl. In the other, a leader commands a feast fit for a king, reminding everyone that in this country, power isn't shared at the table. It's served on a golden platter. King of cars. In most of North Korea, getting around means walking, literally. Bikes are a treat, and cars are something you only glimpse in those glossy propaganda posters. But for Kim Jong Un, cars aren't just a way to go from A to B. They're armor, they're art, they're a way to say, I'm untouchable. Imagine more than 100 gleaming luxury vehicles hidden behind closed gates, slipping through customs with fake papers and secret diplomatic crates. At the center of it all is his crown jewel, a Mercedes Maybach S600 Pullman Guard. This limousine will set you back $1.6 million, the same model some presidents and monarchs use. But Kim's version is heavily modified, equipped with smoke screens, bullet-resistant tires, and steel panels designed to withstand grenade blasts. Trailing behind are Rolls-Royce Phantoms, Lexus LX 570s, Toyota Land Cruisers, and even a Ferrari 599 GTB Fiorano. Each one costs anywhere from $300,000 to $600,000. Inside, you'll find velvet upholstery, champagne chillers, seats stitched with silk thread, and hidden radios that can't be hacked. These aren't cars waiting for a showroom. They're engines of spectacle. Every time Kim Jong Un makes an appearance, it's like watching a carefully timed show. Streets fall silent. Civilians step aside and dare not stare at the convoy. Bodyguards in matching suits dash alongside the cars, chosen not just for loyalty, but also because they're shorter than the boss, so no one ever blocks his view. Every turn of the wheel, every flash of chrome, speaks of a man who wants the world to see him as invincible. Few people ever get close enough to touch these machines. They rest in hidden garages under his palaces, tucked away behind facial scanners and sealed with electric locks. Elite guards stand watch, trained to fight off attacks in or around the cars. And even on days when there's no grand parade through Pyongyang, the engines are fired up, just to keep them ready. For Kim Jong Un, horsepower is more than speed. It's presence. When his wheels roll, they carry a clear message. Every move is power. No matter how you look at it, these cars are his rolling thrones. He doesn't drive so he can arrive. He arrives so you'll never forget who's in charge. The dictator's jet. When most people think of private jets, they picture fancy seats and fast trips. But Kim Jong Un's Ilyushin Il-Sis-2M, nicknamed Chame-1 after North Korea's national bird, the goshawk, takes that idea to a whole new level.
Now, Kim Jong Un is reported to have used his own private jet to fly to Dalian for his meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping.
This old Soviet workhorse, once built to haul nearly 200 people over 6,200 miles, now floats above the clouds as a flying fortress and a symbol of absolute power. Step inside, and you'd swear you'd landed in a five-star hotel. State-released photos show huge white leather chairs, polished rosewood tables, even crystal ashtrays that catch every sparkle of cabin light. Every corner looks more like a throne room than a plane cabin. Yet this luxury is only half the story. Underneath the plush carpets and tinted windows lies a high-tech shield. The moment Chame-1 climbs into the sky, hidden electronic countermeasures kick in. Powerful jammers scramble enemy radar and block satellite signals for miles, turning anything chasing it into a blind goose chase. It's as if the jet throws up an invisible wall around itself, leaving anyone on the ground staring at empty air. Above and beyond the secret tech work, fighter jets swoop in formation, circling the goshawk like protective hawks guarding their young. Often these escorts are North Korea's fastest planes, MiG-29s or Su-25s loaded with live weapons. They keep constant radio contact with command centers on the ground, ready to swoop down on any unruly aircraft or missile. Their roar and readiness send a clear message. Don't even think about messing with this flight. Chame-1's flight paths are another closely held secret. Only a handful of top officials know when and where it's going. 1 minute it's on the runway, the next it vanishes from radars and out of sight only to reappear at some distant airstrip. This vanish and appear trick keeps rivals guessing and makes every takeoff a show of bold confidence. Back in August 2018, Kim Jong Un took Chame-1 to Beijing for his first international trip since coming to power.
Korea leader Kim Jong Un is reported to have used his own private jet to fly to Dalian for his meeting this week with Chinese President Xi Jinping.
No crowded commercial cabin for him. He soared into a private palace at 30,000 feet. That trip wasn't just about convenience, it was a statement. North Korea charts its own course, indifferent to airline schedules or airport rules. Every detail of Chame-1 drives home the same point. Here, rules are written by one man. From its bulletproof hull to the softest leather seats, this jet blends extravagance and secrecy. It's a flying legend, luxury, power, and danger all wrapped into one. In Kim Jong Un's world, every takeoff is a performance. He doesn't just travel, he makes sure the sky knows exactly who's in charge. Inside Ryong Residence, spread across 12 square kilometers, nearly 2/3 the size of New York's Central Park, Ryong Residence, also known as Residence Number 55, sits 12 kilometers northeast of Kim Il-sung Square. Behind its electrified fences and hidden tunnels lies Kim Jong Un's private world, where luxury meets high security at every turn. As you pass the outer checkpoints, the city's grit disappears. Man-made lakes sparkle under the sun, edged with stone paths leading to banquet halls built right at the water's edge. Inside, long tables gleam under crystal chandeliers, set with fine china and crystal glasses, perfect for grand state dinners, though the public never gets an invite. Nearby, a 15 by 50 meter swimming pool waits, complete with a secret water slide that swoops down from a hidden platform. Imagine starting your day with a thrilling plunge, all within thick tree lines and armed guards guaranteeing total privacy. For a dryland workout, a running track encircles an athletic field. Early mornings are quiet except for the sound of rubber shoes on red clay and the steady breath of runners putting in their laps. After exercise comes relaxation. A spa and sauna complex offers heated stone rooms to ease sore muscles, cool plunge pools to wake up the senses, and massage tables draped in soft linens. It's every bit as indulgent as a 5-star resort, except it's buried inside a top-secret fortress. Horse lovers aren't left out. Stables house prized thoroughbreds, and a riding arena lets Kim or his inner circle practice dressage or gallop in total privacy. For those craving speed, there's even a horse racing track with viewing stands where advisors place bets and sip tea as hooves thunder by.
Media has released a video of leader Kim Jong Un once again riding a horse through a winter landscape.
Below this paradise lies a wartime bunker built to survive a nuclear blast. Reinforced walls of steel rebar-laced concrete and lead panels can take the force of massive explosions. Thick blast doors seal each corridor, and hidden tunnels link to other elite compounds. An underground train station on its own tracks lets top leaders move quickly and unseen beneath Pyongyang. Above ground, electric fences topped with barbed wire hum with low-voltage current. Hidden minefields lie in wait behind dense brush. Guard towers, their windows dark, dot the perimeter. Armored patrols circle constantly, and checkpoints demand multiple IDs and full vehicle scans to weed out anyone but the closest insiders. Inside the villas, opulence peaks. Plush carpets muffle footsteps. Walls are covered in polished wood or silk tapestries. Crystal chandeliers scatter prisms of light over lacquered tables and velvet chairs. Marble fireplaces stand cold but grand, their mantels lined with family photos and European sculptures. Heavy, hand-stitched drapes can darken a room in seconds, sealing off the outside world. Built in 1983 under Kim Il-sung and expanded by Kim Jong-il, Residence number 55 has grown into Kim Jong Un's personal fortress. The Korean People's Army dug the lakes, shaped the gardens, and carved the underground bunkers. Today, it's a place where state business and private pleasure blend seamlessly, far beyond the reach of everyday North Koreans. Just outside these walls, ordinary citizens wait in line for meager rations, work long shifts in state factories, and live in crowded apartment blocks. Inside, Kim and his circle dine lakeside, train in world-class facilities, and retreat to doomsday-proof command centers. The gulf between their lives could not be more stark or more guarded. The Dragon Yacht. Far from the hungry towns and dusty military marches, Kim Jong Un has a secret escape, the open sea. But he doesn't slip away on a rusty patrol boat or a plain government ship. His hideaway is a floating palace, a $7 million yacht whispered to be called Yong-gun, Dragon. At nearly 200 feet long, it's no fishing boat. It's a private kingdom on the water. Step aboard and you'll find a spa that rivals the fanciest hotels, complete with warm pools and massage rooms. There's a soundproof music lounge where Kim can lose himself in tunes without a soul hearing outside. Multiple cabins sleep guests in beds draped with soft European silk and surrounded by rich teak wood from Myanmar. Hungry? A kitchen filled with gleaming Japanese steel appliances hums day and night. A team of chefs stands ready to whip up Wagyu steak, foie gras, or whatever else the leader's heart desires. Meanwhile, the outside world hears nothing. No clatter of dishes or hum of generators. It all stays hidden behind thick walls. But luxury isn't the only game here. Safety is just as important. The hull is coated in military-grade armor, built to shrug off explosions or gunfire. Satellite trackers are locked down with Russian encryption, so no one can pinpoint the yacht's position. On the roof, tiny drones sit ready to launch, giving eyes in every direction. Below deck, a secure communications room lets Kim hold talks with foreign powers, far from prying ears or spy satellites. From the outside, the yacht appears sleek and modest. No giant flags or neon signs. That's the point. Underneath that calm skin lies a world tailored for one man's power and comfort. Every inch is set up to impress and to protect. Think about it. While children in North Korea wash in rivers and families scramble for each grain of rice, this giant boat drifts through international waters, untouched by rules or sanctions. It sneaks in through secret channels, Chinese middlemen, shell companies in Singapore, and denies any law the right to board it. It shouldn't exist, and yet it does. For Kim Jong Un, the sea isn't for warships or fishermen. It's a stage for private deals and hidden pleasures, a moving fortress that shows he can sail beyond any limit. When the yacht glides across the waves, it carries a message. In North Korea, even the ocean bows to one master. And when the dragon rises on the horizon, the sea itself seems to hush in respect. The moving fortress. Kim Jong Un's personal train, nicknamed the Moving Fortress, is a rolling symbol of his power and paranoia. Picture 21 cars chained together, each one wrapped in armor plates, bulletproof windows, and reinforced floors designed to shrug off bombs and bullets. On deck are racks of automatic rifles, anti-tank weapons, and shoulder-fired missiles, plus a built-in helicopter pad for a lightning-fast getaway. Despite all that firepower, the train barely outpaces a brisk walking pace, capped at 37 miles per hour. A US commuter train can hit 90 miles per hour, and Japan's bullet trains race over 200 miles per hour. The extra heavy armor and steel girders are to blame, but speed is the least of Kim's worries when every inch of safety matters. According to expert Bruce Bennett, the basic shells came from Russia, then were shipped to Pyongyang for final tweaks. Trapdoor-style roof panels slide open so machine guns can sweep the tracks, and armed guards patrol every corridor. When it's time to board, a red carpet ramp unfolds like a royal invitation. State media once showed inside, one car lined in pink leather seats for about 20 guests, another set up as a conference room with a laptop, flat-screen monitor, and long table for planning. Rumor says around 100 security officers ride along, watching every step and every handshake, ready to stop any threat, real or imagined. Those fears aren't just talk. North Korea's leaders have a history of purging top officials, and sightings of Kim's body doubles at public events hint at his deep distrust. Whispered stories tell of distant relatives plotting to shoot him at private parties, or insiders planning ambushes in government halls. With enemies all around, the moving fortress is his mobile shield. Yet Kim also uses the train to shape his image. Riding rails instead of flying jets makes him look humble and relatable, even though he owns dozens of palaces across North Korea. Satellite photos from 2020 revealed the train parked at his Wonsan resort, complete with guest villas, a private beach, a basketball court, a shooting range, a $7 million yacht, and its own railway station. Trains hold a special place in the Kim family saga. Kim Jong Un was said to be terrified of flying, so Pyongyang built 20 exclusive stations just for him, gleaming with fresh paint, while ordinary stations rusted away. Back then, 3 trains moved in a convoy: a scout train, the leader's train, and a support train full of guards and supplies. The tracks between them were shut down and inspected to guarantee a clear, danger-free route. Inside the moving fortress, luxury is everywhere. A former Kremlin officer who traveled with Kim described fresh lobster and other live seafood in the kitchen, plus cases of French Bordeaux and Burgundy wines. Lady conductors, trained singers and dancers entertained guests during meals, mixing hospitality with propaganda. Plasma screens and secure communications gear kept encrypted briefings flowing. The train also witnessed tragedy. In 2021, Kim Jong Un died of an alleged heart attack aboard one of his own carriages. That very car now sits in his mausoleum at Kumsusan Palace of the Sun, a stark reminder that not even the toughest fortress can cheat death. Most recently, the train made a headline-grabbing trip to Russia. Traveling nearly 300 miles in about 20 hours, it swapped its wheels at the border to match Russian tracks and was hauled by a local locomotive for part of the journey. It was Kim's first international trip since the pandemic and echoed his 2019 excursions to China, Russia, and Vietnam. Wardrobe and watches. In North Korea, how you look can be as important as what you say. For Kim Jong Un, clothing isn't just about covering up, it's about standing out. Every suit, every pair of shoes, every watch is picked to send a message. He doesn't dress for comfort, he dresses to show who's the boss. Behind the walls of his palaces, massive closets guard a treasure trove of outfits. Imagine row after row of custom-tailored suits, each hand-stitched in Italy and costing more than $5,000. They're cut to give him a broad-shouldered, confident look and to hide any signs of fatigue or illness. Heavy wool greatcoats lined with silk wait for cold days, while lighter blazers are ready for warm weather meetings with foreign guests. Footwear is just as carefully chosen. Fine leather shoes from Europe sit beside insulated boots for snowy roads. Each pair is polished to a mirror shine because a leader's steps must never falter or look cheap. Even the socks are picked to match the story his outfit tells: strong, steady, and smooth. But no detail matters more than what he wears on his wrist. Kim's watch collection is worth over $8.2 million. He owns classic models from Patek Philippe, Rolex, and Movado, brands known around the world for wealth and taste. When he wants to look like a serious statesman, he'll pick a simple stainless steel Rolex, the same style used by presidents and prime ministers. It's a nod to power without flashing diamonds. In private, though, he opts for the showstopper pieces, diamond-studded tourbillons and ultra-rare Swiss editions that most collectors only dream of. These watches are locked away most of the time, pulled out only for special events or state television broadcasts. Every time Kim steps in front of the camera, his outfit is part of the performance. A dark Mao-style suit might emphasize his connection to North Korea's past. A Western-cut blazer can signal openness to talks with other countries. A collar without pins makes him look mysterious and unpredictable. These choices are more than fashion. They're a uniform for someone who wants to be seen as a demigod. Even the smallest piece, a cufflink, a tie clip, a pocket square, is chosen with care. In Kim's world, nothing is too small to matter. A simple silver cufflink might show restraint. A gold one could hint at unstoppable wealth. With every glance, he reminds people of whom they're looking at. In the streets of Pyongyang, where most people wear the same drab uniforms, Kim's outfits stand out like spotlights. His wardrobe is a secret theater, and he's the star actor, costumed to command every single day. The Pleasure Court. Behind Pyongyang's grand marble halls and booming anthems lies a hidden world, one the public never sees. It's a place of velvet curtains and soft music, built not for the people but for North Korea's top ruler. At the heart of this secret realm is the so-called Pleasure Squad, an elite group of up to 2,000 women chosen from across the country for youth, beauty, and total obedience. These women aren't treated like regular citizens. From the moment they're selected, they're whisked away to private villas where they learn to sing, dance, and follow strict rules. They train until every gesture is perfect, every note clear, and every word silent. Some never return home. Instead, they live underground in hidden compounds beneath official residences, where state-run celebrations rival any royal court. Picture crystal chandeliers imported from Austria, sparkling above polished marble floors. Grand pianos arrive in pieces, assembled on site for midnight performances. The walls wear heavy drapes that block sound and prying eyes. Rich bottles of Louis XIII cognac, Dom Perignon champagne, and Chateau Lafite Rothschild line the bar, each bottle worth more than $2,000. These drinks flow until the first light of dawn, long after most North Koreans have fallen asleep hungry. In these rooms, forbidden music fills the air. Classical pieces and Western jazz, tunes banned for the masses, waft through the secret halls. It's a private concert series, a showcase of what the state won't allow anyone else to enjoy. But these nights aren't just parties. They're statements of power. Every note, every drop of champagne, every whispered laugh says, "I answer to no one." While ordinary families tighten belts and ration rice, the Pleasure Squad's world overflows with luxury. Silk cushions, fine carpets, and lacquered furniture create a fantasy of beauty and pleasure. Yet beneath the sparkle lies a chilling truth. These women have no choice. They exist as living symbols of the leader's control. Reminders that in North Korea, even desire is regulated from the top down. No law, no sanction, no moral code applies here. The Pleasure Squad is proof that when the world tells him no, Kim Jong Un finds a way to say yes in secret. Indulgence becomes a weapon, a declaration that scarcity means nothing if you have the power to shield yourself from it. And so, deep beneath the patriotic parades and public speeches, the Court of Shadows hums on, silently, invisibly, but always under the supreme leader's watchful eye. In a nation built on scarcity, this hidden empire of music, luxury, and absolute obedience stands as the ultimate assertion of untouchable authority. Seeds of fear. In 2017, the world watched in horror as Kim Jong-nam, Kim Jong-un's own half-brother, was killed in broad daylight at Kuala Lumpur airport. Two women walked up to him pretending to play a prank. Instead, they pressed a tiny drop of VX nerve agent onto his face. That single drop, invisible to the eye, shut down his body in under a minute. It wasn't just murder, it was a warning sign stamped in blood. Betray the throne, and you'll pay with your life. But Jong-nam's fate was only the beginning. Under Kim Jong-un's rule, the list of missing people keeps growing. Army generals, top officials, even close family members. Some fell in public shows of violence, executed before cheering crowds as a brutal lesson. Others vanished without a trace, quietly poisoned or dragged off to cells where no one ever hears from them again. In North Korea, trust is a luxury you can't afford. Bodyguards are chosen not for their strength, but for their size. They must be shorter than the leader, so he always stands tallest. Every plan can change at the last minute. Convoys include fake cars that roar away empty, dummy planes that taxi down runways with no passengers. Every meal is sampled first, and every window and door is checked. No one knows where the danger might strike. Outwardly, Kim Jong-un appears calm and powerful in his crisp black suits and expensive watches. But behind the scenes, his world is built on paralyzing fear. Every flash of a smile hides the paranoia of a man who sleeps with guards at his door and chemicals tested in his food. From gold-plated tables to armored yachts, he lives like a billionaire in a world of hunger. Yet every luxury is shadowed by the next threat. In Kim's North Korea, power is measured not in kindness or ideas, but in who's left standing and who has already been silenced. The message is clear. In a land ruled by fear, silence is the only safe sound. The mysterious First Lady, Ri Sol-ju, wasn't born into the spotlight. She grew into it. From the start, her life was wrapped in prestige. Born in Pyongyang to a well-known doctor mother and a respected academic father, she moved in elite circles. But it wasn't her family's name that made her famous, it was her voice. As the lead singer of the Unhasu Orchestra, her smooth, haunting songs won hearts across North Korea. People spoke of her like she were untouchable. Then, in 2005, Ri stepped onto a different stage. She crossed into South Korea for the Asian Athletics Championships, cheering "We are one" before thousands. For a moment, she stood as a symbol of unity. Was it genuine hope for peace, or a carefully crafted message? Soon after, she disappeared from public view. When she re-emerged, her world had changed. On Kim Jong Un's arm, she traded concert halls for palace halls. Gone was the young singer in uniform. In her place stood a poised, radiant woman in couture, quietly assuming the role of supreme consort. She spoke no words, yet her presence spoke volumes. In 2018, she received a title not used since the 1970s, Respected First Lady. It wasn't just an honor, it was a transformation. Now, at summits with China's leader or meetings with South Korea's president, she sits beside Kim Jong Un with calm confidence. Her silent grace under flashing cameras marks her as more than a guest. She's part of the show. Her clothes tell stories of power and style. Each gown fits like armor, designed to project elegance and strength. Neutral shades, clean lines, and tailored cuts have become her trademarks. State media often highlights her designer dresses and fine handbags, turning her into an unlikely fashion icon in a country where most wear simple uniforms. But Ri's accessories are more than pretty extras. A sleek Swiss watch or a classic Lady Dior bag isn't just luxury, it's a statement. It says that even in a land of strict rules, she stands apart. Every outfit, every smile, every silent nod is carefully chosen to project an image of control, refinement, and poise. Ri Sol-ju never gives speeches. She doesn't need to. In a place where words are weighed and watched, her elegance and calm presence do the talking. She has become the face of a deeply secretive regime, a living symbol of its strength and mystery. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.